Okay, so what we're going to be doing here today is taking a look at the wiring inside this box. Now this box is has a street address sign on the front side, and it's backlit, and the access is through here for that. But there's also a ground fault circuit on there for plug-ins, and the whole thing is activated. Well, the lit display is activated by this photocell. Now, it's not working right now, and what I'm suspecting is that the photocell is gone, because when I test it with a circuit tester here, I get an open neutral. So we're going to take this receptacle off, and then we're going to take this panel off to get access to our photocell and remove it and replace it. Alright, so I've got a replacement one here, and it's a good one. It's rated for 1800 watts. Not sure if you can see that there. But the wiring is pretty straightforward, so we'll just do that here. Now your white is going to tie off to the white, your neutrals. Now the black is your hot in. Now keep in mind, this is a switch. It's a light switch. So your red is your switched hot out. So that'll go to the light circuit. So the first thing we're going to do here, get my screwdriver, and we're going to remove the receptacle. So the power is off, I got the cover off, and now we're going to take this board off so we have access to all the wiring and the photocell. Okay, so we'll just check here, make sure with our tester we're not getting any kind of... Yeah, we're all good. So now we can proceed to undo the wiring. Okay, now we got the nut off that holds the photocell in there. And there it is. That's our old one. And it's been in here for a lot of years, and you can see it's hard to see through the plastic on it already. Anyway, we're going to get this out of here. Okay, I'm going to back off this screw here. Not sure if you can see that. There, that loosens it up so we can pull the wires. And now I'm going to remove these two screws here so we can pull the receptacle out. Alright, now the screws are out, so we can pull the receptacle out, and now we've got access to all the wiring. So we're going to undo the black and the white and the red that come up from the photocell. So we're going to undo these wire nuts and then pull the photocell out. Now the way that this is wired up with a GFI receptacle as part of the circuit, the black from the photocell comes off of the receptacle, and the white also does right over here. It's kind of hard to see. It's bright sunshine here. So anyway, we're going to undo those off the receptacle and then pull that old photocell out. Alright, so I pulled the old photocell out, and like I said, it was wired into the GFI circuit. So the hot was coming off of the hot side, and the neutral was coming off the neutral side of the GFI receptacle. So I'm going to take our new one here and put it in. Okay, so we're going to feed the wires back up through here and pull them up through there. Alright, we've got them pulled through. Now these are pre-cut for us, so we're going to pull these ends off here. There we go. And now we're going to take the black and reconnect it to our GFI outlet on the hot side. We're going to take the white and reconnect that to our GFI outlet on the neutral side here. And then the red that comes off is our switched hot, and that's going to go back onto our wire nut with the black wire there. Okay, we've got our white back on. Everything is nice and tight. Alright, now we've got the black tied on, nice and tight. So now our circuit is going to have power going to the photocell, which is a switch. It's got the neutral, and the red is our switched power out. That's going to go onto this black wire, which goes up to power the light, to backlight the house number on this whole operation here. And there we go. Red is tied into our circuit going out, and we should be all set. Okay, now, you can see I just pull this down, get a better look at it. There are two nuts on here. There. So you got these nuts, and then there's two little washers there as well. And that's to attach it back into here and give it some water resistance. So we're going to take those off and then put it back into the slot here and tighten it up. Well, it turns out this photocell stem is a little bit shorter than the old one, and it doesn't fit through this board. So I'm going to have to modify this now and drill this hole open a little bit more so it can poke through and we can thread the nut on. I guess this is just another one of those cases of they don't make them like they used to. Normally this wouldn't be an issue that they make it a little bit shorter, because normal applications, these either go through metal, which is not very thick, or plastic, again not very thick. This is going through wood, and it's a 3/4 inch thick, so it matters this time. So anyway, I've got some bits here, and we're going to open up this hole a bit so we can get that nut on there and tighten it up. Okay, this is going to work. So I'm going to pop this out, and we'll just quickly paint this a bit here to protect the wood. Okay, while that paint is drying, what we're going to do is mount this receptacle back in its place. So we'll stuff the wires back in there and tighten that back up. Okay, now we have that back in place. Now we're going to come down here again and tighten up this collar that holds these wires in. There we go, that's all nice and snug. And now we'll be able to put the photocell back through the hole once the paint finishes drying and get that nut on there and tighten it up. Just a note on the expansion of the hole here, you can see that it's stepped. I didn't enlarge the entire hole because it was made to fit this diameter, so it fits in there snug. But I had to enlarge it just a little bit to get the nut in there. So what I used was a Forstner bit, and it's a little tricky to do that freehand with a drill because you can't center it on anything on a hole that's already in place. But it turned out not too bad. So it's a stepped hole right now, which is enough to fit that plastic nut on there and hold that photocell in place. So there you go. Now, if you want it to be really adventurous, what you can do is open up the case on the old photocell, and inside you'll find a set of contacts. Now, depending on what's wrong, the contacts could be fused together, they could be improperly gapped. You can remedy that with some really fine sandpaper. You can try and realign it a bit if it's gapped wrong. But again, that's if you want to be really adventurous. Anyways, I'm not going to do that here, but you could if you wanted to. It's times like this that make you really hate waiting for paint to dry. Alright, so I've put it in there, and you can't really see it, but I put one of those little rubber rings around there as well. It just kind of holds it in place a bit. And I'm going to tighten that nut on there. Alright, so I've got it in there. It's pretty flush, as you can see. And I just used a slot bit here to tighten it up in there a bit. So it's as tight right now as I think I want to have it. And if it ever needs to come out again for a replacement in the future, it won't be too difficult to do then. So there we go. So now we'll get this other board back in place. We'll tighten that up. Alright, so the board is back on. And now we'll put our cover plate back on. Okay, cover plate is on. Everything looks good. And I think we'll go and turn the power back on and give it a test. Okay, so I put the circuit tester back on the receptacle, and it shows that everything is correct. You can't really see it because the sun is too bright on it, so anyway, I won't show it to you, but it shows everything is correct. So right now I'm going to put some tape over the photocell and then see if it lights up our backlighting up here where we've got our lamp. So these circuits have a timer built into them, time delay on these photocells. So I'll put some tape on there, and then we'll wait about a minute or so and see if our lamp comes on. There we go, got some electrical tape on there, so that'll black it out, and we'll see what happens. Okay, there we go, our lamp is on. I heard the switch click, so we're good to go. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope this helped you out. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and see you again next time. Bye. You know, liking and subscribing really helps a small channel, so thank you so much.